Welcome back to the fall 18th semester of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for everything Akron Zips athletics. I'm John Alfieri, and I'm excited to welcome to the show my new co-host, Tyler Gunter. So Tyler, tell me, what sports are you most excited about covering this year for Akron?
Well, John, I'm a big football guy, so I'm super excited to see our Akron Zips football team. Last season, they went 6-2 playing in our conference, and we were crowned the champions of the MAC East for the first time since 2005. However, this year, I'm really excited to see our new quarterback, Cato Nelson. He had the opportunity to start the last 4 games of last season, where he threw for 8 touchdowns on 786 yards with only 1 interception. So I'm really excited to see him play.
I'm excited to see him play too and to see how the football team does, but let me tell you, one team I am excited for is our Zips men's soccer team, who had an amazing season last year, going 18-4-2, winning the MAC conference and advancing to the NCAA tournament, only to lose in a heartbreaker to Stanford in the semifinals in Philadelphia. The team is poised for another year of success, and one player to keep your eye on is senior midfielder Marco Micheletto.
Well, we have a lot of catching up to do with Akron sports. However, let's start with my favorite, the football team. Akron traveled to Nebraska for their season opener on September 1st. However, that game was delayed for 3 hours before both schools announced the cancellation of the season opener. On Saturday, September 8th, Akron played their first home game of the season versus Morgan State. Here with the game highlights is Colin Brennan.
University of Akron Zips kicked off their home opener against Morgan State. The weather was not ideal, but this would have no effect on the Zips' play on the evening. Cato Nelson, the sophomore quarterback, takes the field for the first time as a de facto starter since arriving on campus, and immediately shows off his versatility as he takes it outside the pocket for a solid 15-yard run. He then evades the oncoming tacklers to find receiver Andre Williams for a beautiful one-handed catch and the touchdown. However, this was brought back on a pass interference call by the Zips, leading to a Nick Gasser field goal to give Akron its first lead. The Bears then began their drive down the field, but it was short-lived as Alvin Davis intercepted the ball for his first interception of the season. The Zips wouldn't waste their opportunity on this possession, as running back Van Edwards took the ball 21 yards to the end zone for the Zips' first touchdown of the season. Hungry for more, the defense almost had another interception as the ball was tipped by Kyron Brown, but fell to the turf. The Bears' drive stalled, and the Zips got the ball back and continued their hot play as Cato Nelson throws the ball down the field to Quadarius Smith for the 35-yard touchdown, the first of 3 touchdown passes Cato would throw on the evening. The defense continued to stand tall, not giving any ground on the Bears' quarterback draw. The Bears would try the same play again, but resulting in a fumble and their second turnover of the first half. With the throwing game working, the Zips went to Van Edwards to gain yards on the ground. But with the missed field goal by Gasser, the Zips had their first scoreless possession of the first quarter. The Bears seemed to find a bit of rhythm, gaining a few yards of offense before ultimately throwing another interception, this time to linebacker Jamal Davis. Again, looking to get the running game consistent, the Zips ran the ball in 3 straight plays. But a miscommunication on the option led to a fumble and a scoop for the Bears. This seemed to be the point the Bears would finally get some significant ground, as their run game began to gain traction. But on third down, the Bears elected to throw the ball away. Ignited by the earlier turnover, Edwards dragged defenders for almost a first down. The offense mixed things up as Cato finds Williams on the motion route for a solid gain. Deltron Smith checks in and gets a carry and busted open to the outside for a 16-yard gain, setting up Nick Gasser for another field goal to give the Zips a 20-0 lead. The half was not done, and the Zips once again moved down the field. First a 30-yard pass from Cato to true freshman Jonah Morris, and then finding the end zone with a connection from Cato to Andre Williams, redeeming the play from earlier in the game. It was a new half, but the Bears still struggled, as defensive lineman Kobe Warrior was called for roughing the passer and was ultimately ejected from the game. This penalty set up the Zips to take advantage, with Cato finding Morris again for a touchdown. However, Jonah would be injured on this play. Once again, not to be outmatched by the offense, the defense continued to bring constant pressure, starting with a sack and then followed with a 3-and-out. Akron's 2 main options continued to pour it on, with Cato throwing to Van Edwards for a first down, followed by Edwards taking the handoff for 21 yards for his second rushing touchdown and 109 yards on the day, pushing the Zips' lead to a staggering 41-0. Cato's day would end on an interception that bounced off the receiver's hands, leading to the coaches bringing in the backups as the game was already out of hand. An interception on the drive would give the Bears the opening they needed to drive onto the Zips side of the field for the first time all game. In the waning moments, a pass interference call on the Zips put the Bears on the 1-yard line. After a quarterback sneak, the Bears finally found the end zone and ended the shutout. The Bears players would celebrate the touchdown, but the Zips were left dancing to victory.
Yeah, when you win 41-7, you can't be disappointed. And the game kind of played out like you thought it would. Our defense, we got 9 seniors. They're going to play with a lot of experience, and they dominated. The defense the whole game was played on one side of the field because of the way the defense had played. And then the offense, I think we're very talented, probably as talented as we've ever been, running back or wide out, quarterback, but we're inexperienced. We made mistakes, and so we didn't take advantage of opportunities early that we could have. I know we missed a field goal, fumbled a football in the first couple of series that we were there, and yet we settled down and did what we had to do. We made big plays, and we see what we can be.
That's how I expect out of the defense, for us to have like 9 seniors starting and just fly around the ball. That's just how our defense is. And the outcome of this game was a great show of how we play and how we all together and the chemistry we have amongst each other.
It was huge for me. I know, first of all, the defense came out and set the tone for us, and that was huge for us. And I know they push me every day in practice, so it makes it easy for me in the game, even though it being my first start and my first college touchdown. It's a great experience for me.
Akron would then travel to Illinois to play Northwestern University on Saturday, September 15th, and pulled out ahead of the Wildcats.
Great win, guys. What an upset. Now let's take a quick break, but when we return, we will have all the latest action of the women's soccer team. Welcome back. The women's soccer team has already had their ups and downs to start off the season. At home so far, they are holding a record of 1-1-1.
On September 2nd, Akron held their last home game before starting 5 games on the road. Here are the highlights from their first home victory against Youngstown State. Youngstown State and Akron were both looking for a win after coming away from their previous matches with a tie. Youngstown entered the match against Akron with a 1-2-2 record, while Akron held a 2-2-1 record. The first goal came at 15 minutes and 10 seconds into the match from University of Akron senior Rachel Bauman, as she scored her second goal of the season. Akron's defense held YSU to only 1 shot in the entire first half, and the Zips went into halftime up 1-0. But wow, did the Zips take control in the second half. At 46 minutes and 51 seconds, freshman forward Sydney Worthy scored her first goal of not only the season but of her collegiate career. She made sure not to celebrate too much, as less than 4 minutes later, Worthy shot and scored her second goal of the day. Later on in the match, at 66 minutes and 14 seconds, stop me if you heard this one before, Sydney Worthy again. She completes the hat trick with her 3rd goal of the day and becomes one of only 5 players to ever score 3 goals in a single game in the history of the women's soccer program. However, the highlights don't end there, folks. The Akron Zips scored another 2 goals in the second half from Erica Schrader and Lexi Colano. Akron finished up the second half scoring 5 goals, which is tied for the most goals scored in a single half in program history. Youngstown State was defeated by your Akron Zips with a final score of 6-0. Here's the women's soccer head coach, Noreen Hurley, with her thoughts following the match.
Well, obviously we're happy with the win, at home, and that's what we expect now. And, we're a relatively young team, but we have some good experience as well. And, it was good. I thought, we were 1-0 up early in the game. I thought we took our foot off the pedal a bit. And so we challenged them at half-time to raise the level, and they came out and scored 5 more. So we were pleased, obviously. And
to talk about her hat trick, here's freshman forward Sydney Worthy.
Well, I got 3 goals in the second half after having a little bit of a rough first half, so I just came out at halftime, had a little talk with the coach, and I just came out with a new mentality.
Sydney's a great worker, we had a good chat the other day in our meeting. She knows what we expect of her, and she's just a willing learner. She's very coachable, she works hard, and delighted that she got the hat trick. That's great. I mean, the second goal primarily was just neat, like in the box, just like very alert, and then toe poke past the keeper, brilliant stuff, so we're pleased. Well, yeah, when you have a shutout and you can score goals, it always builds confidence, and what we've been saying to the team all year is, we're at least creating opportunities. We'd be worried if we weren't creating those opportunities, but we're creating them, and as long as we we have those opportunities, we're putting ourselves in good chances trying to win games. Now it was a matter of we were telling the players we got to put away those opportunities when they arise and be a little bit more clinical in front of goals. So it was good to see that today, and hopefully we can build on that now. It's still a process.
Akron women's soccer would then travel to Dayton and Robert Morris before they begin facing other teams in the MAC Conference.
The team fell to Dayton 0-3, but managed to bounce back with a win against Robert Morris University.
Let's move on now to women's volleyball. The team entered the Zips Invitational match with a 6-3 overall record. The Zips faced 2 teams in this weekend-long event and, overall, had a successful showing. Great job, ladies.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and when we return, we'll recap the men's soccer team season so far.
The Akron Zips men's soccer team opened up their season at home against Butler. This tight match ended in a 2-2 double overtime draw.
The Zips would then go on to lose their next home game to North Carolina State University 0-2 and look to turn things around entering their next match against Pittsburgh. With the game highlights, here's Robert Zuginer.
On Saturday, September 1st, the University of Akron's men's soccer team took on the Pittsburgh Panthers in a non-conference matchup. The last time the Zips and the Panthers faced each other, the Zips shut out the Panthers with a final score of 3-0. After a rocky start to the season, the Zips would be looking to gain their first win and bounce back before heading into conference play. The Panthers would start the game off by putting pressure on Akron's defensive end, forcing Akron to turn over and giving themselves shot opportunities. One of these opportunities is by Pimentel Marconi, which goes over the crossbar, and another by Robbie Dambrot, which goes wide left. The Zips would answer Pitt's aggressive play. Daniel Strachan would jump in front of Alec Peperak's pass and send the ball up to David Egbo, who would find clearance and shoot the ball past Pitt's Johan Penoranda, giving the Zips a 1-0 lead in the 4th minute of the match. Following the goal, Akron would keep putting pressure on the Panthers, looking for open players in the box but barely missing each time. The Panthers would push back against Akron, drawing a foul and giving them a free kick opportunity near the goal, but Akron's defense was able to clear. Looking for any opportunity to score, Pitt would send the ball way downfield to a breaking Alexander Dexter, giving him a one-on-one chance against Akron's keeper Ben Lunt. Lunt would come out and make a terrific save, forcing a quick second shot that would sail over the goal, leaving Pitt with nothing. The following Akron possession would find the Zips moving quickly downfield. David Egbo would slip past his defender, allowing him room to maneuver and shoot. The shot would skip off of Akron's Abdi Muhammad and into the goal, but Muhammad would be called offside, nullifying the goal. Trying one last time before the half, Pitt would try to find a hole in Akron's defense, but the Zips would keep up the pressure, causing the Panthers to force a shot that would bounce easily into Lunt's arms, sending the game into halftime with Akron leading by 1. The second half would start with Akron looking to add to their lead, using quick cuts, flashy passes, and even the defense's own momentum against them to try and find gaps in Pitt's defense. Akron's Sam Tohaga, Marco Micheletto, and David Egbo would each take a shot, but Pitt's defense held firm. The remainder of the match would be a battle of defense. Pitt would not allow Akron to score again, but the Zips would keep up consistent defensive presence and would not allow Pitt to score at all. Akron defender Carlo Rotasio would lead the defensive stand near the end of the game, disrupting the Panthers' attack on multiple occasions. The Zips would go on to win 1-0, giving them their first win of the season. Akron forward David Egbo would have the game's only goal out of 3 shots he attempted, and goalkeeper Ben Lunt would have 2 saves on the night, keeping the Panthers off the board. After the Akron victory, head coach Jared Embick and defender Daniel Strachan had this to say.
First one's always the toughest, especially with the schedule we put together. When you play opponents that are talented and hungry, it can be very difficult and unforgiving with our schedule, so we had to dig deep, and I think, all of us, everybody, the community, the university, ourselves, our team, a better effort than we gave Monday night. And even though it wasn't pretty, we saw that effort, that kind of battle and that fight that got us through this game. As you can tell at the end, they were throwing everything forward, and we had to just stay together as a team and fight and battle and, get the result, and couldn't be prouder of the group.
Even when our play broke down, we never gave up, got behind the ball, and every single tackle we were there fighting for. So I mean, that's what really pushed us through especially those last 20 minutes, and came out with the win. Yeah, every guy's focused on playing the game and not worrying about what our team's saying and everything. So just keeping us going with the game, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Ben and Strachan here, Daniel. I think those guys, their effort, kind of kept us together, and then we, Morgan, Sky, those guys came in at the end and really helped us get through it. So I think for us, it's a huge step. Hopefully, for Ben and Daniel here to continue to grow as leaders of this team. But I think you could see. I challenged them at the beginning of the week, right? Our returners, some of our guys that have experience that get us through this, right? Show the way, and you show the way with your effort, your mentality, your hustle, and your commitment. And those guys really embodied that tonight. And I think for us, that's big going forward.
The Zips will be on the road for their next match against number 24 Seattle on September 7th.
The Zips would then travel to play Seattle and Washington, but would sadly lose both of those games. The team returned home on Saturday, September 15th, to try to turn things around. Akron was scheduled to play UConn on Saturday, September 15th at First Energy Stadium, but due to a flight issue caused by Hurricane Florence, Akron rescheduled their match and instead faced the Canisius Golden Griffins. Akron would come into the game sitting at 1-3-1, following a tough road trip to Seattle and Washington. The first 30 minutes of the game was a stalemate, with great saves by Golden Griffin keeper Tom Crosby and Akron keeper Ben Lunt. The Zips finally broke through in the 37th minute with a goal by Izana Kase, the first of his Akron career. Akron wouldn't wait long to strike again before half as Morgan Hackworth scores just a minute later in the 38th. Akron would carry a 2-0 lead into halftime, with the momentum starting to shift. The Zips came out in the second half firing on all cylinders with a quick goal on the throw-in by David Egbo in the 45th minute. In the 50th minute, Egbo delivers a strike from just outside the box for his second goal of the evening. And in the 54th minute, guess who scored again? That's right, David Egbo. He would score his third goal of the night and earn a hat trick for the match. But the Zips weren't done yet, as Kase would hammer in the touch for his second goal of the night as well. In the 67th minute, Marcel Zajac would be dribbling down the field, only to get caught up in the box and earn the penalty kick. He went on to strike it home to give Akron a 7-0 lead. The goals kept piling on in the 77th minute, as Diego Pacheco would make it 8-0 for the Zips. A long ball down the field to Marcel Zajac just a minute later in the 78th would find Pacheco again on the cross and give him his second goal of the night, and Akron a 9-0 lead. And finally, if the night wasn't bad enough for Canisius keeper Tom Crosby, a blunder by him would give Izana Kase a hat trick as well, and Akron their 10th, yes, you heard that correctly, their 10th goal, which would end up being the final score of the match. Men of the match were obviously David Egbo and Izana Kase, who both netted 3 goals each, earning them a hat trick. They both sat in with Coach Jared Embick after the game.
I think the confidence, when the first half it was okay, then we put in Morgan and Izana. They had a couple good days of training here at the end, and I just felt like the team needed their senior leadership. So I think when we put them in the first half and we scored 2, we went in halftime with a lot of confidence, and then we just tried to clean some things up. But really, in all honesty, I think once we got the goals and the confidence and the validation from the work rate, then we just wanted to stick with it.
And the second half was just a continuation of the end of the first half. But the work rate was tremendous.
We're hungry. We want it. I mean, we are coming together as a team, and we're fighting more, and we just want it. Like we're coming for it.
Akron's next home game will be Monday, October 1st versus Syracuse. Until next time, with ZTV Sports, I'm John Alfieri.
That will wrap up this edition of the ZTV Sports Report.
Make sure to follow us at ZTV Sports Report on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at ZTV Sports Report.
Signing off, I'm Tyler Gunter.
And I'm John Alfieri. Go Zips.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.